Good evening, preppers. SHTF here. Gonna do another video. I'm gonna cover are you a wolf or are you a sheep if the shit hits the fan? So, as usual, I got my little bit of notes I took before this, and we'll start going through are you a wolf or are you a sheep? Just a couple things before we start. One, if you like this, please like and subscribe. And second question, you can put the answer in the comments. What's everybody's thought on live streams? A couple people told me I should live stream these, but I don't know. So you guys let me know. Video, live stream. What do you want to do? All right. So, are you a wolf or are you a sheep? So, it's a question I always have for people, especially, new preppers or people that want to get in your group and that type of stuff. So in a crisis, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a wolf or are you going to be a sheep? And I'm going to go over the difference and what that means. So for me, I'm going to be I'm going to be a sheepdog. I'm going to be the person that protects the sheep from the wolf. So that's how I live my life. That's how I protect my family. How people respond to these type of situations is going to be telling on whether or not they're a wolf or a sheep. So let's get into it. All right. So, who are sheep? So, in my little description, I put a sheep are those who rely on society, protect, shelter, and protect them, shelter them, and keep them rich with supplies. So those are sheep. Those are people that your regular, normal, everyday person. Someone has to protect them. You're a sheep. It's dangerous, in my opinion, to be a sheep. Sheep are typically unprepared and they're passive. In a crisis situation, you're not going to make it. So a couple of sheep behaviors, we'll call them, it's going to be panicking in emergencies. Any kind of emergency comes, they're not prepared, they're not ready, there's the freak out. Not the freak out as in the riot, we're going to tear things up freak out, the freak out of panic attack, total shutdown, crying, yelling, just very emotional. And also, another big behavior of the sheep is relying on others, assuming that people are just going to help them because. Or the ones that believe, oh, don't worry, the power's going to come back on, or the internet's going to come back on, or the government's going to take care of me. All those of which have big consequences. So what are the consequences of being a sheep? Well, there's a lot of risks to it. Obviously, you're not going to be prepared. You're going to be a target. Looters are going to be looking for you. You have a crisis. You got looters. You got them watching what's going on in all the situations. They see you being a sheep. They're going to hit you. Your neighbors know you're a sheep. So if you got, people that are they're out to get you, they're going to get you. And sheep, in an SHTF event, they just struggle. They struggle to make it. They struggle to survive, the whole 9 yards. So sheep are, like, to me, they're just useless. But it doesn't mean, as a sheepdog, that I wouldn't step in and help any of these people. But we'll get into that more as we go. So, what's a wolf? I'll give you my definition. So, a wolf is those who are going to take advantage of others in hard times, or during chaos, or during shit hits the fan. However you want to look at it. If they're going to take advantage of you, they're the wolf. So, wolves operate, they're going to be shady. They're going to be your criminals. They're going to be your people that didn't prep, or their plan was to be a wolf, meaning they're going to stock, guns and ammo versus food and water, figuring they're just going to come take it. So stealing, exploiting, they're going to survive at the expense of others, the expense of you. So they're going to look for the sheep. They're going to exploit the sheep. They're going to jack your supplies. They're going to rape, pillage, or whatever they're going to do. And they're going to just either kill you or take your stuff and leave you, make it even worse. So, some examples of wolf behavior, we'll say. You're going to have looting, raiding, and using force to get what they want. So, whether there's one of them or a pack mentality of the wolves, that's what they're going to do. Another big thing is they're going to be very optimistic. They're going to look to approach weak people, and they're going to try to gain power, and they're going to try to gain more resources. So wolves, they're predatory, and they're dangerous. And you should definitely have a plan to deal with that. I've done multiple videos on all different things, but I always go down to a plan. And, this is a big part of why. It's less about there's an emergency and we got to go here, we got to go there, we got to get our kids. All that's important. But if you're not preparing and you don't have a plan for the wolf, you're probably going to be a statistic. So what are some consequences of being a wolf? Well, if you're a lone wolf, meaning you're just going to hit people on your own, you're going to get short-term gains versus long-term isolation. So instead of being part of the community, having a group, doing things the right way, you may get something now, but what are you going to do long-term? And it also creates enemies, obviously, and it makes survival very dangerous. No one's going to trust you. No one's going to give you cooperation once they know who you are. So when you're a wolf, that's the consequence, man. Instead of doing it right, preparing, physical, mentally, spiritually, knowing your neighbors, having a survival group, prepper group, a mag, something, and doing this the right way, like a lot of us God-fearing people do, you want to be the wolf. So that's what's going to happen. Which takes us to a sheepdog. Like I said, I consider myself a sheepdog. I'm a protector, and I'm prepared. What's the role of a sheepdog? You're the protector of your family, your community, and myself. I'm going to do what I got to do to protect my family, myself, at all costs. There's nothing I won't do to protect them. Nothing. So sheepdogs, we're both prepared, we're willing to defend, and we operate with a sense of duty, and we have morality. We're not out there raiding and murdering, we're protecting. But with that, you have to understand, my duty is to protect my family, so I won't hesitate to do what I need to do. So we'll hit a couple of examples. So examples of being a sheepdog, or behavior. Examples of a sheepdog's behavior. So what are they going to do? They're going to proactively prepare for emergencies. Preparedness is like godliness. If you want to be a sheepdog, you got to prepare. You got to do everything in your power to make sure you have as much stuff within your means to protect your family. You need to balance your strength with your compassion, and you have to stand up for the vulnerable. As a sheepdog, you owe it to yourself to be as healthy as you can. You owe yourself and your family. You owe it to yourself and your family to be physically fit. You owe it to yourself and your family to be a good marksman. You owe it to yourself and your family to put as much muscle on as possible so that you can defend them. You owe it to your family to know how to fight. Those are all the behaviors of a sheepdog. And, secondarily, I don't see a negative to being a sheepdog, so I'm going to say, why should you strive to be a sheepdog? Because sheepdogs doesn't just help and maintain yourself and your family as survival, but you're also going to protect the weak. So another big part of being a sheepdog is, the combination that you bring to your community about your preparedness and your integrity. It's huge. They're going to know that you're a sheepdog, and they're going to know that you're there to help and protect them. And that goes a long way. Okay. So what's the mindset? So I'm a sheepdog. What's the sheepdog's mindset? I mean, it's basically going to make you an alpha male. You want it's important for sheepdogs to train, to prepare, and to adapt their mindset to the possibility of violence. And, a lot of people would say, hey, SHTF, why would you talk about violence? Because sometimes the wolf is going to put you in a predicament where you have no choice but to resort to violence. So training and fighting has to be part of your preparedness plan. And you have to be good with God. Another big thing in mindset is your moral duty to protect others. So we talked about protecting your family. Now you got to talk about the rest of the people in your group, your mag, or just your neighbor. If you're a sheepdog, you're just not going to stand there and let your neighbors get jacked by the wolf. You're going to deal with the wolf. But there is a balance between protection and compassion. We have, I try to consider myself an ethical person. But my family's still going to come first. So there is a balance of, I can't protect everybody, so it's going to be my family first. And, I'm always going to pray, and then I'm always going to, do God's word. So there is a happy medium to being a sheepdog and all of your values and ethics. But for me, it's family first. So, what are some preparation tips you could take as a sheepdog? Or the key steps of becoming one. So, it's pretty practical. So, you want to prepare. You want to, have self-defense training. You want to learn first aid. You want to learn CPR. For me, I have some pretty good medical training. I was in the military, so I have TCCC, and I have, Combat Lifesaver, and I've done a lot of trauma stuff live, unfortunately, in a combat zone. So for me, I have plenty of that stuff. So I built on the rest of the skills that I needed, building my supplies, preparing, getting myself physically fit, burning all the fat off my body, working out 5-6 days a week, self-defense training. So fighting, punching, kicking, learning how to use a knife. All that's important. You're going to want to secure your home. You're going to create a plan. We're going back to that again. What is your preparedness plan? What is your family preparedness plan? You have to ask yourself that. And a shit hits the fan situation, there's going to be stress, sheepdog or not, and you got to go back to that plan. That plan is the key to your survival. Another good piece is going to be, you need to form alliances with like-minded individuals, neighbors. You need to do that for mutual support. Because if you have a couple of like-minded neighbors, they could have, a couple of men. They could have some, adult children. So you could take just you being that sheepdog and have 8 of you. Now, 8 of you can protect that neighborhood. Protect your families. Work out a plan. So that's very, very, very important. So there's a little bit of final thoughts on this one because I don't want this to be a half-an-hour video, so I'm trying to get it done. I'm going to reiterate, what are the 3 roles again? So you got your sheep, unprepared and vulnerable. You're going to have your wolf, aggressive and short-sighted. And you're going to have your sheepdog, prepared, vigilant, and protective. For me, I'm always going to push for people to take some action. So, don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep. And don't be a wolf. And if you're going to be a wolf, remember, there's consequences, man. You go on the wrong property and you hit that sheepdog, you're going to wish that you didn't do it. And for your sheepdog, I encourage all men to be sheepdogs. Protect your family. Do the right thing. Get good with God. Prepare. Go to the gym. Hike or run. Learn how to carry weight. Make sure you have a battle rifle. Make sure you have magazines filled. It's on us to be the protector of our family and our community. We have to do the right thing. We have to step up as men. So with that, this is SHTF. I ask you again to like and subscribe. Please share my video and drop some comments. I want to hear everybody's thoughts for those of you guys. And, I got a few guys that are coming back now and commenting. Please, let's push this out. The election is getting closer, and it's more important than ever in America that as men, we're going alpha male versus beta male. Again, this is SHTF. I'm going to sign off for tonight. Keep prepping.